Attention, you are now listening to a Final Level podcast with Ice-T
and Mick Benzo.
If you are offended by words like shit, fuck, ass, low motherfucker, whatever,
stop this podcast now.
And by the way,
this is the hardest podcast on earth. Yo, what's up out there? This is podcast number 38 with Ice-T.
And the infamous Mick Benzo.
And you are right now listening to the hardest podcast on earth. Mick, how you been, baby? What's happening?
Oh, man, you know, the last podcast we had with Victor, did Victor win that Olympia? What was that called?
No, it happens on the 18th, Mr. Olympia, you know.
I hope a lot of people heard that podcast he did, though, because he was very powerful with the bodybuilding.
Yeah, he
broke
down bodybuilding for people out there, and, you know, it's lots of...
Not just lifting weights.
Yeah, it's a science. You call them
bodybuilding.
scientists.
Yeah, they're scientists, man. That was kind of fly. I enjoyed his podcast,
and
though.
He came back and he told me, Ice, I got tremendous response from that, no negativity. Everybody, you know, dug Victor Martinez. I told him, I said, yo, when people are in our house, people respect that.
And they're our friends, really. We only deal with people that are our friends. We don't deal with the people we don't know. That's not going to happen.
No, and we back, and we do this podcast for you. So the people out there that are listeners, that you love it, stay tuned, subscribe so you don't have to look for it every Wednesday when it comes out.
If they subscribe to iTunes, all they have to do is hit subscription. And each time we put one out, it automatically goes to them off of iTunes.
Right. Well, man, people are hitting me up on Twitter. They're letting me know they love it. They're happy that, you know, Final Level is still in the house because we set a bar with this podcast and the way we do it.
You know what happened? When we went on hiatus, they didn't think we was coming back, especially when you did the TV show. Ice ain't could do the podcast no more. That was over. Nah, man, this is our home here, man. It's all our friends.
Right now, I'm at a point, Chuck D told me, he said, Ice, at this point, if you're not having fun, you shouldn't do it. And the only things I do right now are things that are important or that I'm having fun. The problem is when you have tight schedules, that's the problem, trying to find the time to fit it in. You know what
I want to let our listeners know, too, you can check us out. If you can't find us at IceTFinalLevel.com, you can check out Loudspeakers Network. That is our new home. Yeah. Loudspeakers Network. That's where we at now.
Yeah, that's what's happening. We're here with Combat Jack, a lot of the other great podcasts that they produce. And, you know, today in the house, we have somebody that really, you know, is like a cornerstone of hip-hop. Mm-hmm. You know, he's the first hip-hop superstar.
He's actually the first artist that got signed to a major label. We're trying to build it up so y'all can figure out who we talking about.
Yeah, like somebody who was a rapper and an MC before we even knew what they were. You know, but you know.
Before you knew, I knew what it was. I was man. Listen,
the world.
Listen, man.
The world.
This guy used to be down with the same gang I was in. It's called the Peacemakers.
Yes.
Yeah, it was called the Peacemakers. Before they was hip hop, I knew him. He knew me.
Well, you know, we're going to talk about some moments he had in my life that were very. I got something that he probably doesn't even remember something outside of what he knows I remember him for. But he did another solid for me. Doesn't even know it. In the building.
The undisputed king of hip-hop.
The one and only Kurtis.
Kurtis
Blow is in the building.
Another Boogie and Hound Bronx, y'all.
Thank you very much.
What's up, Kurt?
Hey, fellas and man, it's a pleasure and an honor to be here. Ice-T.
Thanks for showing up, man.
Love you forever, man, forever.
Yeah, real talk.
Holding it down. You know, Mick, you know how far we go back.
Yes, sir.
Peacemakers in the house, you know, Southern Boulevard, 178th
174 for you. You know, come on. Don't give up the locations where you at, man. They're looking for us now. You know,
I was up there the other day. And I went past the clubhouse.
Ooh, not the clubhouse. See, they don't know about the clubhouse, man. We had the fluorescent lights up in there. And everything looked like lint balls was on you because that little blue. Oh, yeah.
And we had the Zodiac posters glowing in the dark.
Oh, my God, with all of the sex moves on it, baby. They used to glow. They used to glow in the dark, man.
Taught me a lot.
That's Kurtis Blow.
Hey, before we get into the fun part, we have to start this on a solemn note.
Yeah.
You know, Kurtis Blow's DJ for how many years?
31 years.
I want to say, Kurt, if I Rule the World, who helped co-write that with you?
Oh, that was AJ's song. AJ was talking about that song for like 2 albums. trying to get us to record this song, and I was like,
so we're gonna get into everything, man. We're gonna get into your history.
Yeah.
We want to detail it, but I didn't want to get into this podcast without letting people know we're aware of the sad moment
Our man
that's going
AJ
on.
Scratch.
rest in
down
peace,
Bronx, man.
cool
B.
DJ AJ.
Yeah.
This is podcast number 38 with Ice-T and Big Bizzo. And our guest is Kurtis Blow.
And Kurtis Blow knows for a fact, I've said it many times before. I was in the streets and rapping was something, before you try to do it professionally, every kid on the street got to rap. They got rap in their head, every kid in the street. And I was just happened to be at a place and they had a contest.
Where, in New York, L.A.?
In Los Angeles at the Carolina West nightclub.
Carolina West.
Wow.
Out by the airport, right?
Yeah, yes,
Wow.
sir.
See?
And I was there, and I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm not a rapper. I'm just playing. You dig? And they say they're gonna have a contest here. It wasn't like come to the club for a contest. The contest just happened while I was in the club.
Okay.
And the
Okay.
homies was like, Ice, you could rap. Go rap. And I'm like, come on, man, you serious? And I got up there.
Oh, my God.
And I said the little rhymes I had
Who
in my
was
head.
there, though? Who was there?
There was no unknowns. It was just nobody was rapping in L.A.
Okay.
Nobody. This was like 1982.
Were there judges or something?
It had to be earlier. It was 81.
81. He was the star. There was not a whole bunch of rap. This is pre-Run DMC. This was like
Yeah.
Kurtis Blow was the rapper of the world, okay, as far as we knew, and he was out there, and he was, Kurtis Blow, like I saw the picture with the red leather suit and the jump, he
It was only me and Sugar Hill Gang.
Yeah, he was the
that's
man.
right.
This
So
is
he's
before Flash.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
Before records, let's say
Right.
that, before the records.
Came
Let's
out.
get the
Yes,
record
yes,
right.
yes.
Okay, we know the Sugar
Sorry,
Hill,
Vic.
and then it was
Sorry,
Kurtis
Vic.
Blow with
Yes.
records.
We
you
talking,
know?
yes.
Let's put it
Yes,
like this.
yes.
He was in motherfucking L.A.
Oh,
nigga.
shit, in
What New
81.
York rappers was in L.A. in 81 doing shows and talking shit.
But the
Kurtis
whole thing
Blow.
about it, though, see, you got to understand, Ice, you never heard this story from my perspective.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
So I'm coming out to L.A. for the first time, right? I stay at the Holiday Inn, in Hollywood, over here on Highland.
Yeah, Holland, Orchard Street. I know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so my first time in L.A., I go to this club, Carolina West. It's packed.
Right.
Packed.
Open
zooted.
it.
But you Kurtis
Right?
Blow.
Open at 9, close at 9.
It was a great show,
zoo.
a great performance, and then they have this little contest. Oh, would you be the judge? Would you be the judge? Oh, sure, I'll be the judge. No problem. So here comes this guy. The guys are rapping, people are rapping, but then this one cat comes up, light-skinned cat.
Long hair.
Got
Long
the
hair. He's got the ponytail,
Yeah,
right?
got the ponytail.
So I'm like, wow, look at this cat. So the rhymes he did,
Impress you.
he was talking about, he was cursing.
Yeah.
He was like, bitch better have me. He was giving a real pimp rap. Like, no, but the crowd, you got to understand, because you never.
No, listen, Kurtis Blow is
you
talking.
never said that the crowd was going crazy.
Right.
Because you were humble about it, right?
Right.
But the crowd is going wild. Now, here's Kurtis Blow. I'm straight out of college. Like, I'm like, my whole thing is like, look, no, we don't want any profanity in hip hop. I'm
Right.
totally against this,
Right.
Right.
in my mind, but I'm saying like, all right, if I get this guy 0,
It's going to be some problems here.
I'm a long way from home. You know what I'm saying? No. And these, I mean, the
Being
crowd.
honest.
Yeah, it was
the
LA.
crowd
It's LA.
was real gangster, for real. And so I get up there and I said, no, I can't give him a 0. I can't give him a 1.
Because he
I gotta
cursed.
give him, but he rocked the house. The reason why I gave him a 10 was not because of his lyrics. I didn't agree with his lyrics.
Okay.
But because of the crowd.
Crowd response.
The crowd was going crazy, and I know that this was something, a new, different type of thing, that if I didn't get with it, I was going to get left.
Well, you
You're
know
gonna
what it
get
was,
lost.
Kurtis?
Definitely.
It was like I had to learn how to rap to the West Coast audience.
That's right.
And the West Coast audience at that time was gang members,
Yeah.
hustlers, and players.
Yeah.
I had to talk their lingo.
Right.
Yes.
Jump them on board. When you
And
stand
you
in front
did.
of 150 Crips,
Right.
you better come hard or they
Right.
going to snatch you off the stage. So I understood how to do it, but I just didn't think somebody like Kurtis Blow would say I won the contest. So when
Hands down.
I won. Okay, now I'm leaving the party. I'm still a player. I'm still hustling.
Right.
My nigga's like, yo, you won that contest. Maybe you can do this. And when somebody of your caliber co-signed, and I never forgot that because I've co-signed a lot. I met Snoop when he was young. I didn't realize how pivotal that is in your life to
co-sign.
When somebody, like a star, co-signs you. You know, the crowd didn't matter. Kurtis Blow said I could rap it, and he was a real rapper.
Right.
See, we weren't real rappers. I'm trying to rap.
At the time, correct.
No, you're trying. New York were the real rappers. And to be able for him. Then here's another moment you had in my life, and we haven't even gotten into the podcast, but another moment. You were at the Fresh Fest.
Okay.
And
L.A.?
Yeah.
Okay.
And at that time, now I'm trying to be a rapper, and I was kind of like a rap
You got records out, yeah.
No, but I was
During
still
that
a
time.
rap groupie. I was hanging around Houdini.
Okay.
And they liked me because I was, you know, fun and cool, and I had things. Niggas like, how you got the Porsche? How you got the Rolex? How you got these things? They like fascinated. I'm like, you ain't got no records out now. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, cool, but I wanted to get in the game. But I was backstage someplace, and somebody said, yo, you can't be back here. And he said, no, that's Ice-T. He recognized me.
Wow.
And
at
gave
the Fresh Fest.
This is Kurtis Blow was at full power,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
in the back, VIP in it, like macking out, like everything. And and I was getting ready to get thrown the fuck out. And he said, I don't know, he might have ducked up from behind a girl or something. He was just playing. He was like, oh, that's Ice-T.
Don't put him. Let him stay.
Yeah, let him stay. And
Wow.
and I never forgot that.
Wow.
I didn't go over into his world. It was not. I was nowhere in it on his level. But he did that. Now, little things like that, people remember forever. So that's why I'm like so glad to have you here today.
Man.
It was the moment when, you know, a street cat said maybe I could do something else and probably save my life, you know, because you don't think you can do nothing else. And the thing I think, because I was doing it so raw and so real and you gave it to me, I felt, well, shit, this is me. He liked me, you know, in all my, you know, craziness. But anyway, we're here. It's podcast number what, Mick?
38.
38. You ready to do this?
Yes.
We got Kurtis Blow in the building, baby.
Blow.
On the Final Level podcast, here we go. And this is news. The biggest news that they talking about on Law and Order, because I'm on a show they dealing, is the tennis player who got jacked in front of the Four Seasons just recently by the police.
Oh, Mr. James Blake.
You standing in front of a Four-Season hotel,
Yeah.
minding your business.
Right.
The C-Cipher, better known as cops, literally ran up to this guy with no announcement. You know, hey, I'm an officer, I'm a police, blah, blah, dragged him to the floor, handcuffed him. A lot of people said he looked like the picture.
No, he looks exactly like...
I gotta say that, though. Did you see that, Kurt?
Did you see the video? The actual video?
Yes.
The cops running up on him and throwing him to the ground.
Now
I thought that was a serious violation of his
Absolutely.
human rights.
But no, you know what I say, though? I mean, I looked at it, then you do a little research and go back a little bit. They said that cop has been doing that lately to a lot of people. This is not the first time he's did that, not identifying himself. Now, if he had identified himself, I could see that that could have been a regular guy running up on his kid.
You know what
it
is? A lot of black people have never been victims of abuse. You know, aggressive police, because maybe they've walked the straight and narrow. This guy been playing tennis. He ain't never really dealt with cops and stuff like that. So when somebody who never really even been over there, like, I know how the police get down. Right. Kurtis Blow knows how the police get down.
Yeah,
but this guy's a tennis player, and I bet he was like saying, holy shit, like,
What the hell?
What the fuck
wait a minute, I'm in a
happened?
chokehold. Like, what happened? Like, God damn, you know, it just probably fucked his day up. I bet he was in the police car like, I play tennis. They go, yeah, you're all players. No, I play tennis, like the U.S. Open. I was on my way. Yeah, what? Black man, you ain't on the way to know who you going to see, Serena?
Right. The only name ain't no Venus. You know.
Nah. So
crazy.
What did they do? Did they give it? Is he getting any paper for that?
No, they
That's
did.
a lawsuit.
No, but they did make an apology, and I
Fuck
think they
that.
should. No, there should be a lawsuit. Probably it will be. I bet you Al Sharpton will get involved. Any high-profile cases, you'll see Al Sharpton.
Man, Al Sharpton, that nigga, man, once he got pushed out of that chair on that old TV show, I can't. Al Sharpton need to just work on his perm. That's what he needs to do. But look. I love Al Sharpton. I got an Al Sharpton story.
Okay.
We was at a party for Bougerie, one of the high-end stores right on the corner of 57th and Fifth Avenue, you know, Tiffany's Bougerie, right across the street, right? But they had a party. So I'm in there. Damon Dash was in there. So all these high-profile people and stuff. I see Al Sharpton. He say, hey, Ice-T, you know, I know who you are. At the party, everybody, they gave a watch away. Right? Mm-hmm. So I said, so what you doing here? He said, man, they giving away watches, nigga.
Hey, look, on a real...
Hey, you know, Al Sharpton used to roll with James Brown, man. This
right,
fool
yeah.
Don't get it twisted.
Nah, but on a real note, I respect what Al Sharpton does, because a lot of people talk about it. He gets
We're
out
not
there
here
on the
to talk
front
about
line.
Al Sharpton. We're
I
talking
got to
about...
get that love up to him, though. He stands on the front line, you know what I
Action
mean?
Network, baby.
Yeah, Al Sharpton. But listen. You said they gave away watch.
Free watch. Free watch.
I'm up in there. Look,
That's funny.
yeah, but look, you know, I think the way cops should behave, they should basically announce themselves. They don't got to go right into motion like this guy is some super criminal. And if you do that, you should definitely know who you are jacking.
Man, that's like the cops are just going crazy all over the country. You know, we have been having murder after murder after murder. I just can't take it anymore. It seems like it's a big epidemic like problem where it may even be like, you know, racial cleansing or something like that.
I mean, you
what's
know,
going on, fellas?
Since we're on that subject, what can we do about it, though? I said if you're not going to do anything about it, why talk about it? So my thing is,
well,
go ahead.
A wise man told me, named Jello Biafra, he said, Ice, whenever you're going to complain about something, spend a day thinking of a solution. So you're just not just somebody complaining. And we've tried to come up with solutions like cameras on the cops. And do you got any ideas on the way to get this to stop?
Right, what can be done? There's, you know, something
without just a
without
fucking
violence.
war. Yeah, just something.
I think they need to rethink their training
on
how to deal with the public. Here's another solution. How about have black cops police more of their communities? Mm-hmm. People from the community should police their own community.
I got a solution as well. I think there should be more cops on the beat versus being in cars. They get to know the people. When I was coming up in Harlem, when I first lived in Harlem, you knew Officer Joe. He even knew who you was. Mm-hmm. And even in the Bronx when we first was coming up, there was a lot of cops on the walk beat. So they got to know the community. Even if you were shooting dice or you were selling weed, they would keep it moving as long as you was respectable. You understand what I mean? But now they got cops in cars, like you said. Those cops live in Strong Island, don't know anything about the projects because they live in houses. Mm-hmm. And then they come there, and they're more nervous of getting out that car, going in that building, than if they knew the neighborhood.
Well, let me say this, man. Let me say this.
They shoot first.
New York got some of the coolest cops in the country.
That's true.
Let's just get that straight. Even though a lot of the situations have recently happened in New York, but go to L.A., you'll never see a cop until he comes up out of that car. And all them guys think they in shape and they got the vests on and they've been watching a lot of TV. And, you know, they're coming, when they come out that car, they're in mode.
Yeah.
They're not coming to conversate with you. You lived in L.A. for a while.
It's a whole different system out there, man. I mean, the protocol is if they say, hold it, stop, get on the ground. If you don't get on the ground, you're dead. They're going to shoot you.
Yeah, they whoop that ass.
They'll whip you, and I'm telling you, you know, that's where Rodney King happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Things like that happen all the time.
Yeah.
If you don't comply with them. And I made it like this thing. I hated, you know, like to get out of my car and have to go and lay down face down on the pavement. That to me is so demeaning.
Yeah,
that's
we
why I
didn't
said
do that. We never did that in New York.
They need, that's
They did
only
Me
in
and
the
That Lover.
West Coast. That's the West Coast. That's how they get down. And so I'm saying they need to retrain and rethink that whole policy like that, because it really is demeaning. And I said to myself, if I ever got in that position, that I would just say, look, it's just my time to go. Y'all got to kill me. I'm not laying down there.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I
It's
gotta
crazy.
go.
But, Kurt, we've been talking about the police on this podcast. Like every time we say news, all of us have the same feeling about it,
Yeah.
But, we had Scarface on there. Everyone's talking, but, we're trying to find a solution. We don't want to just be like, oh, it's the police, it's the police. I
Right.
think you're right. I think one thing is
Rethink the training.
rethink the training and strategically place cops from the neighborhood in the neighborhood. They're going to have a better chance. They're going to get more respect.
Yep.
And when you're going after armed guys. When you're going after the hardcore criminals. And there has never been a protest when the cops ran up in a known dope house, when the cops ran up in some gangsters' room.
Right.
The hood understands that. They play in that game.
Right.
I think the outrage is innocent people are
Right.
getting it.
Exactly.
Correct.
Or when you see it on a video, someone running from the police and them
The
shooting
racial
them in the back.
profiling,
Correct.
like James Blake.
Correct.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, and that
Was
news.
All right.
Yo, this is Final Level Podcast number 38 with the one and only Kurtis Blow.
The king of rap, baby,
And
Kurtis
this
Blow.
is sports.
I'm glad they listening to this right now because I got somebody in here that really knows about sports, man. I was watching the New York Giants this Sunday,
Man.
and we were winning the whole game.
Blah, blah, blah.
Right up to about 2 minutes.
Horrible.
And the coaching, because it's not the players' fault that they call these badass plays. The coaches lost the game, our opening game for the New York Giants. Did you see that, Kurt?
I took a picture with Eli Manning. I'm going to rip it up now.
Oh,
It was his fault, man. It was his fault.
But it's
he
the-
should have took a sack, man. Everybody's saying, how many people got on me. And on Facebook, on Twitter, everybody's talking about. I talking about females are tweeting. He should have took a sack. That man had me so mad. But it's okay. It's okay. But to start out the season, this is
that
the
looked bad.
first
That looked
game of
terrible.
the season, and we look so
Terrible.
good. The Giants look so good. They were up by 10 points.
Ooh.
They were smashing the
23-13.
defense. Was smashed. Ooh, they was running the ball.
Yeah.
Ooh, it looked like real football. Like I was gonna have a great year this year. I'm a sports fanatic, and I love my Giants.
But they took a loss.
But
No, on the opening season, man, we were doing really good, though. I think
That's
that's
a dimmer-
But
dimmer
again,
on
I
the
can't
season.
say the players making those calls. That's coming from the sideline of the coaches, and they're following that.
really,
They're following what the coach asks them to do, not what they want to do, or they be benched.
Well, look, New York took a loss.
Mr.
and
Kaufman.
So did Serena Williams.
Oh, man,
Yeah, see,
Serena.
in this sports segment, Venus lost to Serena, and I didn't think she could lose.
To her sister?
No, to the next round.
The girl that beat Serena didn't even believe she could win. I saw her.
Serena beat her 4 times.
I seen that woman's face, and she was truly amazed that she won, to the point where I felt good for her. I was like, you
go, girl.
You just won, and that's just what sports is about. And when that lady, the way she handled it after the win, it was like she thought she was on Mars. She was like, I just
felt,
can't.
listen,
I won, and she wasn't
felt
even
good.
seated.
She felt good.
She wasn't even a seat. She wasn't even in the running.
So here's the rumor: the Serena was hanging out with Drake the night before,
I don't know nothing about that.
and he threw her off her game.
I don't think he's hitting it like that. That's a healthy woman. You got to really
Too
put
many
some work
juices was flowing.
Nah,
man.
I don't think. Nah,
she
nah,
didn't
it
have
ain't
her
Drake's
strength.
fault.
She was a boxer. She shouldn't be fucking.
She was telling everybody she was tired. I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired.
Don't make an excuse. It's what it is. She won 3 out of 4 for the Grand Slam. The girl is
She's dynamite. She's
you know,
dynamite.
and even though she didn't win, everyone thought she should have won.
What about
That's
your
kind
boy-
of like winning.
What about your boy Floyd Mayweather just had a fight?
Oh, wow.
Floyd Mayweather
Now, what did you
just even the record with Rocky Marciano.
I
49
I
wins.
paid $74 for that fight.
49. He's tied the records.
It cost
Is
70
he going to quit?
$74, folks.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
paid. I
Floyd.
watched it. I watched it. I was in my bed watching it. I'm like, I'm not going to the game. I watched it at the foot of my bed. But he can lean back 3 feet. And I know guys that are in Vegas that are fighters, and they spar with him. Guys, 200 pounds, guys my size. They're like, you can't hit him. He's very difficult to hit. He's a master. And the game is pugilism. It's a sweet science. And I'm just like, you know what? He did it. He got out, like he say, with his faculties. Hopefully he'll go the route of De La Hoya and be a great promoter.
Yep.
And you know, like maybe he'll go back in for, you know, 800 million or some crazy number, but
What, he tied the record?
49.
Yeah.
49 wins with
Marciano,
Rocky
right?
Marciano. 49.
but you know how it is. You're in the game. People can make you think you got to do something you ain't got to do.
Mm-hmm.
People come to me, yo, you ain't got no hits like Dre. Like, look, nigga, you ain't got no hits like Ice-T. Like, don't try to keep putting shit out for me. I've
Right.
accomplished what I need to accomplish
Yeah, I'm
to
cool.
be
Right.
a success in my brain. And I saw Floyd at the end of it. And, you know, like he said, I still got my faculties. I'm still around.
I ain't mad at him. See, Floyd is not a fighter. He's a boxer.
Mm-hmm.
And boxers, only because they think you're supposed to get hit, oh, he should get hit. No, he's boxing. He's not fighting. So his job is not to get hit. Not get hit because I'm a boxer.
He used to be Pretty Boy Floyd. You know,
Come on, man.
Right.
You know?
Well, this is what I think. I think, you know, I've watched him over the years, and he reminds me a lot of the greatest fighters that I've seen
Ali.
through, you know,
Sugar
you
Ray
talk
Leonard.
about Sugar Ray Leonard. You talking about Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, you
This
Unbelievable.
guy, unbelievable
Unbelievable.
speed, power, Sugar Ray Robinson, all the greats. You
Yeah,
see stuff
but you know what
in
it is?
him.
People like
the same
Tyson who would just come and slug.
He's
not
fighter.
like Tyson.
He's a
No.
fighter. Tyson's a fighter, not a boxer.
Tyson
he
was-
goes
Rock
in.
'em, sock 'em.
Tyson was
That's it.
no Muhammad Ali.
No,
They're
no
different
way.
styles.
No, and we love him,
But-
we love him. He was good for the sport. Mm-hmm. And the
I
sport,
mean-
you want to see gladiator. You want to see them pound, pound, pound. He's a boxer. Understand the difference. Read. You're not supposed to get hit because you're a boxer.
But
You're supposed to win.
people still love that Mike Tyson style. That
Oh, yeah.
Julio
Okay, absolutely.
Cesar Chavez style. That
Absolutely.
to me is like a fighter. Like you say, he's a fighter. He's
Mm-hmm.
a brawler. He come when you come, you want to fight.
Yeah, yeah.
But
You
you
know
know,
what I mean?
I tell all the haters, I say, everybody that Floyd beat will whoop your ass.
Exactly. You couldn't
Right?
get in there with
You couldn't
Floyd.
get none of, no,
You couldn't
no,
get in
no.
there with
Blindfolded.
All the ones that he lost to
Yeah.
will put
Yeah,
him on you.
the
Right.
losers will whip your
Will
ass.
beat
Right.
the brakes off of you.
Exactly.
So he
Yeah.
and he has to train, and he has to step in that ring. And I boxed in the Army, man. Stepping in that ring is serious business, man. You know everybody else is on the sideline with the towel and stuff, but you about to get hit in the face.
Those are cheerleaders. All
You about
cheerleaders
to get
always
hit in the
cheering
face.
something.
So
dude.
I always give respect to the gladiators, the people that take the risks. You know, you ain't out there running 15 miles a day like these fighters. He put it in. He made his money. You get. I mean, he defended his title 48 times.
49.
Yeah.
He should have some
49.
paper.
49.
He should have some paper.
It's respect. He's a winner.
It's
He's
like
a winner.
people see me, they say, Ice, you got a nice car. I said, I've been on Law and Order 17 years. I should have some papers, shouldn't I? I mean, don't be mad at me. I put in some time here. You did?
You know.
Hey, Ice, while we still talking about sports, man, Kurtis Blow made a record called Basketball, right? And in that record, he mentioned two brothers, man, and one of them just left us. Do you know the brother's name that just left?
Well, I got to shout out, you know, Daryl Dawkins died first. Actually,
Yep.
two brothers that died. You know, Chocolate Thunder and the first cat I ever saw break a backboard was Daryl Dawkins. And I
Absolutely.
actually, personally, I know him. He came up to me and
Yeah.
introduced himself and gave me a big hug. And, man, I love that guy.
Daryl Dawkins.
I just, rest in peace, Daryl Dawkins. And of course, Moses Malone died yesterday.
Wow.
Now, both of those guys were centers for Philadelphia playing with Dr. J.
With Julius Erving.
And that was my favorite player in the whole planet. You know, growing up as a kid, I used to live right there by the Rucker.
You told me Kareem was your best player.
Dr.
No,
J.
I said he was my favorite on my starting team. That's what I said on the record.
I'm just making sure.
Yes, he's the center of my starting team.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Rest in peace, Dow Dawkins and Moses Malone. You know, Moses parted the sea for the Philly.
Man, let me tell you.
4-4-4. Remember that?
4-5-4.
4-5-4. Y'all don't understand what that means.
See,
You know
y'all
what that
got to
mean?
understand that
You know what that mean, right?
Shut the fuck up.
4-5-4 is
That's when Julius Erving finally got his NBA championship ring.
well, the playoffs. The first series they went 4 games, they swept them. The second series they went 5 games, they won 4-1. And the third series, which was the championship, they won 4 games. in a row.
Moses
beat
did it
the
for
Lakers, swept
Philadelphia,
them.
baby.
So 4-5-4 took them 13 games.
Rest in peace, Moses Malone and
Rest in
Daryl
peace.
Dawkins.
Yes.
And that was sports. All right, this is Fine Level Podcast number what, Mick?
38 with Kurtis Blow and Ice-T and Mick Benzo.
And this is games.
I don't play games, man.
Look, I'm a hardcore video gamer. You play games?
Oh man,
See,
forever.
Kurt, you play games?
Man, listen.
I thought you played basketball.
I had Space Invaders. I had my own Space Invaders in my house. I bought one. And
Oh, you
it
had money.
sitting
You was the first
that
rapper.
and
Arcade game.
and a Defender.
See?
That's how
up,
far
Mickey.
back I go back.
I had a Mortal Kombat in my house and a Virtual Fighter. I had the games. When you got the, you put them in the house. You seen them at the studio.
Yeah, it was in the
man.
crack house. Y'all know it's a crack house. That was in L.A. called the crack house.
So now you actually got music in video games, right?
Oh yeah. I was I'm in GTA, Grand Theft Auto. The Breaks is in that one, and then just recently, 2012, NBA 2012. They featured basketball, my song Basketball.
Yeah.
When you stick the game in, the first thing you hear is, they're playing basketball. And it's louder than anybody else. So everybody said, man, will you turn that down? It comes up too loud. But
I remember you did that song at the Fresh Fest. That record got the illest beat. That's it. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, basketball. That's a banging ass record
It's
right
my
there.
favorite sport.
It's a hit
Thank you.
record. You know when you hear a hit record, you kids like, well, it just
Wow, man.
it steps away
I
from
would have never
other
thought
music.
Kurtis Blow sit home and play video games.
Nah, that's my thing, man. I've been doing that for years, ever since Nintendo.
Yeah.
I was a big, wow, remember this game, Tecmo Bowl?
Hell yeah.
I said, hell yeah.
No. The thing of it is, I tell people all the time. They say gaming is for nerds and this, and I said, well, also musicians.
Yeah.
Because we spend a lot of our life on tour buses. What do they got? Gaming console.
Yep.
Riding from around. We're in a recording studio. In the other room, they got gaming console. I ain't never been. Everybody, you go over somebody's house, they sitting on the couch. Black people play lots of video games. We need to go get some jobs, but we definitely play. I get stuck on my games. I had a dude tell me the other day, just on my job, he said he lost his girl over a video game.
How that happen?
Yeah.
And I said,
it's rough.
And I said, why? Because my wife, she actually loves me to play video games because her comment is, I know where he is.
Right.
He's downstairs. He ain't running around the streets with Mickey's ass. He's down there playing his game. But he told me a story. He said what happened was he was dating a girl. He really liked her. So he was supposed to be taking her out. So it was like 10, 11 o'clock. He called her up, say, yo, I'm going to come get you. She said, give me 30 minutes. So why did he decide in that 30 minutes he going to start playing a video game?
Shit.
He said he looked up 4 hours had passed.
Oh, wow.
He looked up 4 hours had passed. He called her up. She like, where the fuck are you? Like, I'm asleep now. I done took my makeup off. Fuck you. And don't even call me back. Because, time flies while you playing those games.
And I'm the same way, man. Once I get started, it's like,
It's crazy.
look, you just bring me my breakfast tomorrow morning.
Because I'm going to be here.
Bring me lunch,
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And you think because you went in a level, you're doing something. Like you
Right.
feel like there's some accomplishment
Right.
that nobody else in the world gives a fuck about.
Right.
Like, I got to get these. I got to find this one thing. And you lose your mind. I dream about games when I'm playing them. I actually sit, I think I wake up, I know how to beat that level. I know what to do. And it doesn't matter to anyone else.
What's your favorite game to play now?
I play lots of online, like stuff like Call of Duty.
Duty.
Stuff. I like the first-person shooters because it's competitive, and I actually have friends I play with online. We have a plan. But I started playing this new game. It's called Metal Gear 5. It's
Racing car?
The Phantom Pain. No, it's like one soldier, and he's trying to, get these missions stuff like that. And you're just playing, and I just play by myself.
What about Halo?
Halo's space, and I never really got into space games. I'm more like the ones that are on the ground, more closer to realistic. Hey, it just gets my adrenaline running. And
so how are you with the like Zombie Land?
I love them. I love the zombies. I mean, I know how to get to the different levels of the zombies and get through the different, because you got to win certain levels to go through different walls and open up the. Yeah, you know about that.
Yeah.
But it's something to do. Mm-hmm. We ain't hurting nobody. Right. You're at home, and there's a lot of controversy whether the games make people violent. I say it actually pulls the energy out of you. Like, it doesn't. Really? Once I'm done, I don't want to hurt nobody.
Really? That's how I feel. Yeah. I'm tired. I want to go to sleep.
Yeah. So the kids want to fight, go play the boxing game and just play the game and get it over. I don't think anybody says, well, if you play a lot of racing games, you will drive fast. If you play a lot of racing games,
you will drive. You'll drive well.
Yeah. You'll be like turbo. Oh shit, ain't no turbo.
Because I actually taught my kids how to drive by playing, those racing driving games.
They use it in the Army.
And then when I got them in the car, they weren't scared. It was like they knew how to handle, they know how to turn and all that.
So for the record, Kurtis Blow, the king of rap.
The king, baby.
OG.
The king is here.
And Ice-T, West Coast OG, are gamers. Mickey, step your motherfucking game up and start playing something.
You better get with it.
All your kids do. But tell the truth. What do your boys do? When they come over my house?
They play games all day long if you let them, but they love the games. It's something about your thumbs and fingers. I ain't doing all this shit, man.
You got no problem doing other things with your hands.
But one thing about it, now I've been gaming so long, like, at first, I was teaching my kids, right? Uh-huh. And like something like, Nintendo, they come and give me, Dad, beat this level for us.
Right.
And I beat the level.
Nettie, you calling them.
Now,
you calling them.
I got to call them. No, they are slamming Madden. What? Man, can we just put it on the rookie mode?
They got a quick learning curve.
Yeah, man.
Hey, but that's what I'm saying. For all you gamers out there, Kurtis Blow is a gamer with Ice-T. We're casual gamers. We see some gamers, they go so deep into it, they can tell you the stats and they can trade players and get heavy. Yes. I'm not that kind. I'm a casual gamer, but I love video games. Fuck you, Mickey. And that was games. Yo, this is Final Level Podcast number 38, and this is movies. You been to any movies you like, Kurt?
Well, I'm a big fan of the Marvel movies.
Marvel comics?
I just think that it's so fascinating.
Did you read comic books?
As a kid, I'd go to the store. I mean, let me tell you, I went to the High School of Music and Art trying to be a cartoonist.
Whoa.
Going after my boy Gary Buscema. Do you know that name?
I know that.
I'm not talking about Stan Lee. Okay. I'm talking about Gary Buscema. This was the guy that really put the muscles into the Hulk. Right. I'm saying all these comic books, I used to trade them as a kid.
You know why you trade that up? Because Superman is DC.
Yeah, he's
you got to know Marvel,
DC and Batman.
DC and Spider-Man. So you don't know nothing about that shit.
Right. I was down with my nigga Richie Rich, man.
Richie Rich
and Dollar, man. I ain't messing with this guy, man.
You probably was reading Archie and Jughead.
But I'm saying, in junior high school, that was the thing we did. You know what I'm saying? Write our names on the wall.
Was jumping.
Comic books in the 70s, it would be, they cost 15, 20 cents.
15 cents.
25 cents, But now to see these movies of these heroes when I was a kid is such a fascinating thing. I'm just talking about the technology and the special effects and just the new ageness of it. I mean, I remember when the first Superman happened, but now Superman 10 years later with such an incredible thing.
High-tech.
High tech is incredible just to see the Avengers.
I love the Avengers. I had a good time watching the Avengers.
Man.
I love Iron Man. My favorite comic book, they haven't done right. They've tried to make a couple movies, but they still haven't done it right. That's Punisher.
Yeah.
Punisher.
That's right.
I had Punisher art all over my house in L.A., because Punisher didn't have any special powers. He had guns. Punisher had weaponry. Punisher would pull a bazooka up out his ass, and Punisher was buffed as hell, and he come out with 15. I mean, he just had an unlimited arsenal, but they try to do it, and they still haven't done it right. I think they did it with Dolph Lundgren. They did it with somebody else.
Right.
But it's still not.
It ain't right.
It's not like Iron Man. Like Robert Downey killed Iron Man.
Well, you said Fantastic was good, right?
Fantastic Four, I thought was really good. I like the new. I mean, I'm more into the technology, the special effects of it. That last scene when they fought Doom, at the end was
mean.
Worth the price of the movie.
One of the rappers from one of my groups named Tim Story directed the Fantastic Four prior to this one,
right?
And it's all special effects. He directs all kinds of movies and stuff. But I said, so how do you do all the special effects? He goes, you just have experts there with you. So you just direct a certain amount of stuff, and then the experts take it to the next level. That little bit of game allowed me to understand that you could pretty much do anything if you surround yourself with experts.
Right.
You don't need, if you have the vision, you just hire the experts to make it happen. And I was like, okay, I got some game I didn't even expect to get.
You know what movie I want to see? Luke Cage. He had an apartment. This is a black superhero. He had an apartment upstairs on 125th Street.
Okay.
On top of the Apollo.
What?
Oh, shit.
This is with Luke Cage, and he was a special investigator. And at night, he'd turn up into this big, Hulk-like figure and stuff, Luke Cage. And then there was another one, the Black Panther. I'm looking for that one to come out, too.
Yeah, black superheroes never really got to jump off. I remember Black Panther. They never really got to jump off really good yet in film yet and stuff.
Did you know Conan was a Marvel comic book?
Yeah.
I have the first 20 volume 1 through 20.
Volume 1.
Conan the what? Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah.
But there's a couple of movies coming out right now I want to see. One is Black Mass. That's my man Johnny Depp playing Whitey Bullinger, the mob guy that was the Irish mob guy. And there's another one. This might be too creepy for you, but there's another one, a horror flick coming out called the Green Inferno, and it's gonna be there's this super ill cult movie from the '60s called Cannibal Holocaust, and it's a cheesy movie.
I think I saw a preview.
Yeah, but it's hard to watch because they're they doing guts and all kinds of stuff like that. It's it's rated as one of the probably most disturbing movies ever. So of course I wanted to see it.
Right.
But Eli Roth, he did the Inglourious Bastards and all that kind of stuff. He's doing this one called The Green Inferno. I would say go see it at your own risk. But I still don't think even today it could be as disturbing as the one in the 60s, because in the 60s it was just cheesy, nasty.
Right.
And it was unheard of to see something like
they're
that.
Having sex in the mud. Coco's like, this is mud sex. What are they doing? It's like mud sex. Chase a girl down in the mud. Craziness. But anyway, Kurtis Blow once again told you, go see the superhero movies, and I'm looking for Black Mass with Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp happens to be probably my second favorite actor behind Brad Pitt, because he just can become anybody and pull it off. And that was movies. Hey, yo, this is Final Level Podcast number 38 with the man who really had a very important part in getting me into the rap game, Kurtis Blow.
The king of hip-hop.
And you have a history, a story that goes back before my time. I mean, I heard Run was your DJ. I mean, where does it start, Kurt? Where did it all start?
Well, it all starts. Well, it's really a long story, but I'll make an attempt to tell it really quickly. It starts with my mom. Mm-hmm. She was an avid supporter and lover of music.
Okay. And
I get it all from her. She actually was a great dancer. Mm-hmm. You know, in the neighborhood, everyone used to come and get her, and, you know, they used to go out to the clubs, to the Cotton Club and Savoy Manor, and the Renaissance Ballroom was popping in the 50s and the 60s, too. Mm-hmm. So they used to, you know, and she used to do great, crazy jitterbug dancing, and she was very popular in the neighborhood for dancing and music. And I remember, you know, back in the days, it seemed like every block had a record store. And this record store usually would have a speaker outside the record store playing music. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I remember just going by the record store every day. And her whole thing was she had to have the top 10 records that week. Every record store had their top 10 records of the week.
Right, a chart hanging up.
Yeah,
there.
A chart, right? And we had to have it. And I think I learned how to read by reading those charts for her. Wow. So I became her musician, her DJ. Mm-hmm. And when we first got a component set, I don't know if y'all know what a component set is.
I know what a component set is.
You know, we got a component set in 1967. And, you know, it's a TV, big TV, and a record player and a radio, 8-track tape, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so I'm sitting there looking at this system, and she's got the records, the 45 records on there with the little hook, and one record drops. Now I'm sitting there fascinated by this. Mm-hmm. I'm just staring at this process of this whole record dropping and how the needle comes over and drops exactly on the beginning of the record and the song starts. Mm-hmm. And it did over and over and over again exactly the same way. So that process kind of like traumatized me. I became fixated of this machine and how music could come out of this box and all of this, right? And so
how old were you then?
I was like, about 7.
Okay.
Right. So I became her DJ. Mm-hmm. And whenever we had house parties, family parties, you know, birthdays and holidays and stuff, the family would be over. I'd get the pen and the pad out and write down a request for everybody, go back to the component set, put the records on in order of the requests and play them, you know, and I was like the DJ. And I would do that for all the parties at 8, 9 years old. Okay. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a DJ. So my mom, as a dancer, everyone used to always, as a little kid, I was trying to be this dancer too, like her, right? My mom could get down, so can I. So, when she have her friends over, look at my son, he could dance. And I'm 4 or 5 years old. I'm doing this, so this reputation got a little Kurt can dance too. So the bigger kids found out. So in 1972, they came and got me one night. We got this competition. It's a dance contest. We want you to enter this dance contest. And represent the block, 140th Street. We're going to win this contest. So I went down and, at that time I was 13, a little shorty. Mm-hmm. A little kid comes to a party, bigger teenagers, 16, 17, big guys, They can't get down like a little kid. I'm all over the floor doing this. Yeah, my mom's condensing. This little Kurt Blower in the house, right? So I win the contest, and my reputation got out as a little B-boy. At that term started doing that time in 72, 73.
And flash forward, just let you know, we just did a concert on the West Coast called The Art of Rap. And Kurtis Blow was still breakdancing today at the concert.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's where now I see where your breakdancing came from back then. Okay, let's go. 13. Yes.
So my friend in elementary school, my best friend at the time was Tony Rome. He was having a birthday party, his 13th birthday party. Yes, the Tony Rome, Public Enemy says, Tony, I got a call from my man Tony Rome.
I met Tony. I think I met Tony Rome. He was with
LL, Houdini.
Right. Yes, okay, Tony Rome, okay. Yep.
And so he was having a birthday, but his 13th birthday party was the first time I DJ'd.
So Tony Rome was How old was he then?
We went to elementary. He's 13.
So he was Tony Rome back then, right? Tony Rome has been a motherfucker
Well, no,
since he was 13.
no.
He was Tony, man. He was just regular
No,
Tony,
he
man.
was Antonio Herrera.
Okay.
And so I took my mom's component set down to his house, and his mom had a component set. So I put the two component sets together, and I started playing continuous music at 13 years old, and people were like fascinated.
And this is before
how
Mixer.
How did you do this? You know, because before that, in the 60s, a DJ would come, he'd play one song, and then he'd talk a little something, something. Then he'd play another song, then he'd talk a little something, something. You know, like the hop, right? Mm-hmm. But disco came out, you know, the late 60s, early 70s, where they had two turntables. But I figured it out myself. Mm-hmm. I don't want to wait for the next song to play. Mm-hmm. I want to have continuous music. Mm-hmm. I thought I came up with that concept. I didn't know that there were DJs doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I did it. So we had a great party that night, and I just became a DJ and a b-boy, breakdancing, doing my thing. 72 is when I started.
When did you pick the mic up?
So I picked the mic up around 74. I was trying to, you know, like as a DJ, just trying to be a radio DJ, because during that time,
Frankie Crocker.
During that time, Hank Spann was the man. Mm-hmm. He was on AM radio, 1600 WWRL, and that was the thing. That was the thing.
You got a radio voice?
I had to mimic. I can do him and Gary Bird exactly. Like that was my whole thing.
Give me some Gary Bird.
I was Hank Spann.
Give me some Hank Spann.
This is Hank Spann, WWRL Super 16. I'm the server. Put your foot on the rock, pat it, and don't you dare stop. I'm about to get as funky as a crippled crab without a crutch, and you know that's too much.
WWRL.
Yeah.
1600.
And then you had Hank. Then you had Gary Bird, who was also on the radio.
How's Bird sound?
But he had a high voice. This is WWRL. Gary Bird with the GBE. I'm about to get inside your mind, your body, and soul.
Wow.
So between those two voices and those two inflections, you know, the high pitch to the low pitch, I had to figure out a voice. So I wanted to be Hank Spann, and I started out emceeing just like that. Mm-hmm. You're in the world famous Nell Gwynn's club. I'm going to welcome to the place to be. Come on, let's go to work.
Let's go to the audio tape.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that was the first radio voice. We all were trying to be radio. That's all we knew. That's all we heard. You know what I'm saying? So the original MCs were trying to be radio DJs and eventually get on the radio.
Now, did you see any rappers before you came?
Well, they were MCs, basically MCs. Like just orientating the crowd.
But the kind of rap that
so
we know
here's
today.
the deal. Now, after the neighborhood found out Lil Kurt was being a DJ, there was a guy, my older brother, knew this guy. His name was White Mike. He was a black guy, but he was a light-skinned black guy with a big afro.
Just went through this.
Right?
White Mike.
Right? So Mike, he was a promoter. Say, yeah, I found out you wanted to be a DJ. Yeah, I want you to come out and check out some, you know, my club. I'm downtown later on tonight, and I'm going to let you in. You come by about 12 o'clock at the side door, and I'm going to let you in. You can check out the DJs.
You come through the front door.
No, I was 13.
Side door.
So I got a permission from my mom. Yeah, go ahead. No problem. So I went down there at 12 o'clock. I got there, 12:05. The door opens up. You know, like Psychedelic Shack or something like that. He pulls me in. Boom. I'm in a club at 13. I see a disco ball. Lights flashing off it, going all around. All the women got on silk dresses and suits and ties. Everybody's fly up. I went straight over to the DJ. It's a big 6'7" DJ. Pete DJ Jones.
DJ Jones.
Wow. You're in the world famous. This is the McCoy's Club, the New York City's #1 club, and you're listening to the sounds of Pete DJ Jones. I've lost my mind. It traumatized me. And that guy on the mic, his name was KC, the Prince of Soul. They call him the first MC. Mm-hmm. That's the first guy I ever seen on the rap. And during that night, there was another cat there, JJ, the Disco King, and he was like more crowd response guy. He was like motivating the crowd. Yo, if y'all feel good tonight, if you like the music, say, oh yeah. Oh yeah. first time I ever heard that in a club at 13.
Right.
I'm losing my mind. I'm seeing the people. I'm looking at the people and they all hollering back. Everybody scream. To hear 1,000 people scream and you're 13,
it blows your mind.
You will never forget it.
Right.
And it changed my life forever. I had to be the guy with that power, to hold the people and to motivate the people and not just DJ, but take them to another level.
Okay, so now let's jump forward.
Yep.
When did you start to actually make rhymes like the MCs we know today? Well,
that was a school project, and I had seen, of course, people like DJ Hollywood, Love Bug Starsky, Eddie Chiba, and Cowboy and the Furious Five, and everybody, and we all were sitting down writing rhymes. The first rhyme I ever wrote, of course, I copied everybody's style before I wrote my first rhyme. Mm-hmm. But my first rhyme, I wrote it, I was in college. I was in college, and I was DJing on 125th Street, Charles Gallery. And that was my first time I got my big break when I got to college. When this is Russell Simmons' crew. Mm-hmm. And I'm the youngest one, a freshman. And they're all, juniors and seniors. So they put me down, said, young Kurtis Blow coming over. Young, cool DJ Kurt is coming over to Charles Gallery, which is the #1 club on 125th Street, and lying around the block. And so I get up there, and my first rhyme I remember I wrote it. I was going through a Black History thing, so I just wanted to vibe on that. I was like, back in the 1600s, we couldn't dance. You were burned on the cross for a little romance. They called you a witch or a mean warlock. America would hang you if you tried to rock. But I know that it wasn't true for those Africans in Timbuktu. They danced all night, they danced all day, they danced all night, and African dance was a hell of a sight. But this is the year of the 1980s with all the ladies in the Mercedes. You come out your house, you jump in the cab, come on down to the place to be, and just listen to the sounds of little old me, because I rock and I don't stop.
Wow, wow.
So it had a little history in there, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you was dropping knowledge. You was on some KRS-One back in the day. You was the first teacher. So we gonna keep it moving. So now you mentioned that you had gotten with the Russell Simmons crew, right?
Right.
And the legend has it that Run at some point became your DJ. How did that happen?
Right. Well, see, when I went to college, I was very serious about this thing called hip hop. Mm-hmm. And I had to find a field to major in that was relative to hip hop to give me an advantage over everyone else who wasn't in college.
That's smart.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was the field of communications. And in that field, I majored in speech broadcasting. And my whole thing was, so one day in speech class, Russell and I had become friends and partners, and we would just go in the clubs paying to get in. And so I took this one communications class. It was a journalism class, and they had said in the class how you make it in the big city, because there's a lot of competition. So what you need to do is go out to the boondocks and to the secondary, third markets, make a name for yourself, get a track record, then come back and you have a track record. You can compete. Yo, I'm #1 in this small market. Give me a break. You know what I'm saying? So I thought about that. I said, Russell, so many rappers in Manhattan, in the Bronx, they got it locked down. Hollywood, Chiba, Love Bug, all these cats, right? Let's go out to Queens and open up a club in your hood. I could practice and get better as a DJ and get good on my vocals, and then we could really compete. And I told him the story. We'll have a track record, and we could promote it. I'm Queens #1 DJ. We come back and then rock Manhattan.
Right.
So we did that. We opened up Night Fever Disco, and that's when I started going out to his house and staying at his house on the weekends, because Night Fever Disco was in Hollis, Queens.
Right.
201st Street in Hollis, which was 4 blocks away from his house. He lived 2/5 in Hollis. Mm-hmm. And so I used to stay at his house over the weekends. That's how I met the family, the moms, dad, everybody, Joey, Danny. And Russell used to stay at my house in Harlem during the weekdays, and we'd go to school. You know what I mean?
That's
so
fly.
So we had a little arrangement. So during that time, Russell, had this younger brother. He's 5 years younger than us. And every time he'd come around, Russell would smack him in the head. Pow, get out of here. Like, yo, you hit your little brother like that, man. You know what I mean? So
Bully.
I started befriending him, because my big brother used to beat me up all the time, right?
Bully.
Right.
So I didn't like that, and I used to protect him. Yo, come here, man. Come here. He ain't going to touch you while I'm around.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And we became friends. He became my protege. And later on, you know how back in the days, everyone, their protege, you would call him their son. The son of Hollywood was DJ Smalls. Mm-hmm. The son of Bambaataa was Africa Islam.
Right.
So I wanted to get a protege. Russell was like, yeah. Call him DJ Run. For what?
Wow.
He ain't going to run from nobody now while you're with me.
That's right.
We ain't never ran. So,
why did he come up with the name Run? You don't know?
I don't know, but I know the first rhyme was, his name is DJ Run. My disco son, he likes to play music and have big fun.
So it was supposed to rhyme with son. So he just named him Run.
Right.
Just off the top of his head. That's crazy. I mean, I bet Run got another reason for it, but
I know. There is a story, but I really don't know it.
Yeah. Well, so now we're gonna keep the story moving because we could do a 3-hour.
It's the craziest name I ever heard, by the way.
Yeah. So now,
I still don't like it.
Right. So now
I said, oh hell no.
How did it jump from that, you guys just being in college, to making records?
Russell had a big part in that. I'll tell you the truth. Russell had met these guys who did an article on hip hop for Billboard magazine in 1979. They came back and did another one in 77, and then they came back in 79 and did another one. I'm in 79. Mm-hmm. And they were talking about me as a college student, a little paragraph. They talked about Eddie Chiba, Hollywood, Starsky, Kool Herc, Bambaataa, and the last little paragraph, half a paragraph. And a young college student named Kurtis Walker, wants to be in this set of pioneers of this new fad hip hop. So from there, Russell convinced these guys to come see me at a show because Sugar Hill had hit in 79, the summer of 1979, with Rapper's Delight. Every car, every bus, every train, everybody was. So we did a gig. We did one show, and we had these writers who did this article to come out and check me out and see if they wanted to do a record. He convinced them to do a record because Sugar Hill was popping, right? Oh, this is a new thing, a new fad, making rap records, right? So he convinced. They came down doing that, the Hotel Diplomat, Sesame. It was me, Eddie Chiba, and Lubbock Starsky, but I was with Flash that night, and Mel wasn't there. Mel and the rest of the Furious, you know how they are. They break up every week. Yeah. So this is one of the weeks they wasn't with Flash. So Flash was by itself. I said, Flash, let me MC for you. I got this thing happening with these guys. They want to look at me. And I was like, wow. So we got up there, man, and he tore it up. You know Flash, right? So Flash got him. He rocked this, don't stop till you get enough. Dun-dun-dun-dun. You know that part? Ooh, ooh. He kept going back and forth. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And the crowd went crazy. I got on the mic and took him to the next level with the crowd response. Say, oh yeah. Yes, y'all. All that. We went, did the Mardi Gras, 7 minutes of funk, all that, rock the bells, all of that. And the crowd went crazy. So we did, I would say, just as good as Eddie Chiba. right. Because, boy, Eddie Chiba was no joke.
He was a beast.
He was a beast.
Beast.
And so Russell that night convinced the writer whose name is Robert Ford, Rocky. He convinced Rocky to use me over Eddie Chiba because I was a college student. And he's going to go a long way. He's as intelligent. You need to get a college student and somebody who looks good, too. Look.
No. Now, at that time, Russell wasn't your manager. He's just your friend that had him.
It was college. They was college friends.
But Russell always been the same cat, just like the promoter. Push it.
Yeah. I was a communications major, but Russell was a sociology major.
Ooh.
So he knew about the study of the masses and product and the spectrum and you know how people think. Totally.
It was marketing before marketing was
exactly
done. That's what it was. He was into marketing. He knew how to market things.
And we used to argue and fight and debate about things every night because I'm coming from a perspective like this is hip hop from the heart. This is something from the street. You can't teach people this. You got to live this, right? And he's like, I'm trying to start a record company. I'm trying to get $1 from this. And I'm like,
Rush.
Wow. So we used to go back and forth. It was a love-hate relationship, but he did. I will say this: he convinced that man to use Kurtis Blow over Eddie Chino. And because Eddie was good that night.
No, Eddie was a beast.
You know, he should have used Eddie. I'm going to be honest with you. But Russell convinced him to use Kurt Blow. So we went to the studio and cut this song called Christmas Rapping. And October, and Sugar Hill was rocking still from the summer to October. Still they rocking. And we went and got a record deal with a major label because of the Sugar Hill gang being
But that
so
record
hot.
was a fucking hit. And you don't curse, but I'll curse for you. It was a motherfucking hit. When that shit came on, because you know what it was from the West Coast. Now I'm listening. We heard Sugar Hill Gang, but then all of a sudden it was one rapper. And I think it was because you were by yourself and you rapped the whole record. It was mind-boggling.
Christmas rap, baby.
No, but just rap. See, when you're hearing people do verses versus somebody rap the whole record. And one of my other mentors was Grandmaster Caz. And when I met him out there in L.A., you know, I'm trying to suck up game from all of y'all New Yorkers. So I'm like, yo, I want to be in a group. He says, no, you don't want to be in a group. He says, if you can rap from the beginning of a record to the end, you're a soloist. He said, start taking the records, you got your instrumentals, and learn how to rhyme all the way from the front, like, 80 bars. Like, practice rhyming the whole record. Now, still to today, when somebody gives me a track to rap on, whether I'm doing 16, I rhyme the whole record. And I just did a record with K. Slay the other day, and he brought the track up, and he said there's going to be 3 MCs on it, and I went in there and just rocked that shit. He's like, nah, nigga, this is a solo record right here, you know? So having that, knowing that it's a one-man operation, you just get stronger. So you get stronger. Okay, so Christmas Rapping drops, and Kurtis Blow is blowing up.
On his way, baby.
Yes, sir. It was a dream world. You know, I was 19, straight out of Harlem.
How old were you? Wait a minute. How old were you in that picture with the red leather where you were standing in front of?
That was my second album.
The Marquee.
So I was 19, 20, 21.
You was fly motherfucker right there.
Thank you.
I got to ask you a question.
He had his chest out. You know, he had his chest out. He had a little goatee. I'm like,
I was trying to be, super fly. That was my man, right?
I want to ask you a question. You know, now that you're doing it and you're doing it big, you're hanging out in the Bronx and everything. What would you think hip-hop would have been if cocaine didn't come into our fucking...
It didn't matter. It was a change in the guard. That was going to happen regardless. Music is music.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
look what's happening right now.
Yeah, it's happening
The same cats 5 years ago are not rocking.
Yeah. And you know what it is, Mick? I think one thing about show business is you have all your vices, everything is available.
Yeah.
And very few people can weather the storm. It's like when you're a star, what you want, women? You want drugs?
I know one story. We went to Paris, and I remember we were on the Champs-Élysées, and the whole record company was there. We had people from all over the world come to this one big meeting, this big restaurant. And it was just me and Russell, and we represent and everybody's there, about 25 people. We're talking about the big white collars for Polygram, right? And so they brought out this big 3-tier seafood platter. Mm-hmm. I ain't never seen anything like this before, right? I'm straight out of Harlem, so I don't eat no mussels or no,
that funky shit,
oysters or nothing like that, right? All right, I'll try the clams, right? I ate a couple of clams, I'm good. Russell eats the oysters, he eats the clams, he eats the half shell, he eats the whole shell, he eats the eyes of the shrimp. Right,
octopus and everything.
He eats the squid. He eats everything. The whole from top to bottom, 3 tiers. He eats everything. So I said, Russell, you better be cool. You know, you're in a different country. You can't be eating this seafood like this. You know, it's kind of like
shit
you better
everywhere.
Be careful. No, it's great. It's great. He's going in, Russell, going in. And I'm like, yeah, slow down. You're embarrassing us, man. Come on, we're from America. You're France. Nah, I love oysters. I love oysters. He's eating all the oysters, right? So we get back to the hotel, get dressed for the show later on that night, right? Russell was wrong. My stomach. My stomach hurt. That man threw up. He threw up all over the room. Listen, we stay in the same room, a big hotel suite. He threw up from the front door to the bathroom, back to the refrigerator. He threw up in the living room. He threw up in the bedroom. He threw up out the balcony.
Threw up in every room.
He threw up in the balcony.
Mickey, you laughing so motherfucking loud, you hurting my ear.
So
fuck out of the mic.
This guy.
Yeah.
Oh shit! If it's
so
funny
that night,
to me, goddamn.
he couldn't make the show. He couldn't make the show. He had to stay. He had stomach poison.
Oh shit!
Had to go to the hospital. He sent his ass home. He had to go home to America. But that was my dude.
So at what point, like, what was the highest moment when Kurtis Blow was just blowing the fuck up? Was there? Do you have a memory when you were like at?
I got a couple of them. I really want to tell about Bob Marley, but James Brown was big too.
Okay.
But here I go to playing at Madison Square Garden. I'm on tour with the Commodores.
Right.
We're doing this 80 platinum tour, 80 shows all around the country. Big halls, 20,000 seated every show. And so we get to go to New York. We go to play in New York.
Coming home. Man,
we need something special for New York, you know, because we got one show and it's not selling that much, but, you know, maybe we need some extra. Now, mind you, we've been working with Cameo. We've been working with Stephanie Mills. You know, we have all different kind of groups come and join the tour. Mm-hmm. I'm definitely on every show. Right. But then we have, like, you know, all different kind of groups. So we're trying to figure out who can we, they said, this is a guy, you might not know who he is, but I'm going to tell you right now, you put him on the show, we're going to sell out. He's a reggae guy. His name is Bob Marley. I said, wow, okay. So they put Bob Marley on the show. We sold out, just like 5 minutes. Boom, sold out. No, we had to add 2 more shows. We had 3 nights sold out. Madison Square Garden with Bob Marley, right? Kurtis Blow opening, Bob Marley, and then Commodores. So I'm like, wow. So here I am. Backstage, 20 years old, Madison Square Garden, top of the world, right? Mm-hmm. I'm backstage, standing next to what's Bernadette Standis from Good Times.
Good Times,
right? She's standing right here on my right, and Sarah Dash is on my left.
Wow.
2 cuties. I'm 19. I'm just like, yo. Popping game, right? I really want to get over what Sarah Dash. You know, I'm saying I got to play, you know.
Right.
So I'm chilling. So here we see the crowd on our left, all the way down the corridor. A big, massive crowd of people coming towards us slowly, right? Walking. Mm-hmm. Right. I can see them like in a little rhythm thing. They were all walking together. A big crowd, massive crowd of people. They get up right in front of us, right? And the crowd opens up. And I see the figure comes out. It's Bob Marley. Bob Marley comes straight up, walks up straight to me, sticks out his hand. He says, Kurtis, I like your stuff. shakes my hand, goes back into the crowd. The crowd closes up, and they walk back.
It's like a dream sequence.
Listen, I grabbed Burned. I hit her. How did you hear what he said? Sarah Dash yoked her. It's like, yo, did you hear that?
Bob Marley.
That's crazy.
And he died. He died
in
like
peace.
3 weeks later. That was his last performance at the Garden.
Yeah. So now that we on a solemn note, give us some thoughts on DJ AJ. What's some stuff people didn't know about him?
AJ was a motivator. He was the inspiration behind Kurtis Blow when nobody would stand with me. He was like, yo, fuck them. Mm-hmm. You the king.
Right.
That's what he used to call me all the time. Yo, king. That was my man right there. And AJ was like, he was a great talker. To be a DJ, he really should have been a rapper. Mm-hmm. He used to have these one-liners, like, yo, that dude is, he's so fake, his heart is big as a mustard seed, or, that cook cat is cool, man, his heart is big as all outdoors, or, you know what I'm saying? Right. He had these one-liners that would just, like, yo, just rope me off. You know what that mean, right? A DJ back in the day, the block party, he'd have a little rope him off. Just rope me off, And I just loved him for that because he could talk to anybody. Like when I couldn't talk to people, he would always just come up and be like that motivating factor, that person that would just make everything stop all the tension by telling a joke. Say, yo, man, I'm AJ. Yeah.
Oh man,
AJ
he knew
my man.
AJ knew who I was because every time I'd see him, he'd be like, "Ice T, what's that?" And he even still today, like regardless to who I become or whatever, I'm still always like starstruck when like OGs in the game recognize me, like somebody like Starsky or somebody, yo, I just still like, because when I got in the rap game, I just wanted to be a rapper. I just wanted to be in the club,
Right.
So to have different people, acknowledge me and stuff. So AJ will be sincerely missed.
This is out right now. It's Wednesday, and AJ's funeral
will be Friday. We're gonna do it Friday at the Hip Hop Church.
At the Hip Hop Church.
Wait a minute. Let's get that's a good look right there. The Hip Hop Church is on 145th Street, where Minister Kurtis Walker is a minister there.
Yes, sir.
Now, when did you become a ministry? When did you get into
ordained? I became ordained and licensed. Well, I got my license actually before I got my ordination, which was like 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. Yeah. My bishop down in South Carolina had a whole big old, presentation and festival type.
Will you be speaking? Will you be that motivated speaker Friday for AJ?
Yes. Yeah, we're working that out now. Mm-hmm.
Was that something you always wanted to do or something that just happened?
Well, here's the deal. That's funny because in college, when I was telling you, I was speech major, speech broadcasting, and studying all of the great orators, because we as rapper, we're orators,
sir.
Public speakers, and I found out all these different things that you could do in school, like going to journalism, going to broadcasting, radio, you got television, you got news, you have politics. Evangelism. Now that one, when we got to evangelism, I was no, that's not me. I'm never going to do that.
So something was never on the table.
That's not me, man. But I knew that there was a possibility. So as I got older, and plus the other thing that I thought as a rapper, I always, was looking for new ideas to talk about. And I said, no, I don't ever want to do a rap song about God because I think that's kind of sort of sacrilegious because, I'm making money from this. I don't want to make money by making rap songs about God.
Yeah.
And little did I know that in the Bible it says a workman is worthy of his hire. So if you preaching the gospel, you should be paid for it. And that's one thing I learned later on. But, just that I was just not looking to get into that. But God had other plans. God said, all right, I'm a slow walker right now. You know what I'm saying? I got patience.
Since everything that's happened in Kurtis Blow life, can you just bring us up to speed, bring the listeners up to speed with where you are now in your life and what's happening with Kurtis Blow?
Well, I still love to rap and perform and get out there, and that's actually how I make a lot of money. I still get paid royalties. I'm still in the 50% tax bracket, so that's a good thing.
Royalties is hard to get now. I mean, my royalties, I remember they had a thing called my catalog. Like all my albums.
Yeah.
And every year they would sell a certain amount of records, but now it's dwindled because of people downloading and pirating.
Right. I'm talking publishing royalties.
Okay, that's right. It's rough.
Right.
It's rough out here. You think about selling a record, it's cold, man. The game has changed tremendously.
I wouldn't advise anybody to do that. That's not a good career.
Why you think I'm acting? The check's clear over here.
You see what I'm saying?
I had to change, but my daddy was a player, and he told me, if they ain't buying ice cream, sell them cookies.
Right.
So
you know what I'm
he
saying?
said once I was able to see, okay, the game is changing, and I had my pinky toe in another game, and everybody's like, well, wait a minute, you rapping over there? How much? One of my player buddies, you rapping? How much do the big rappers make? I'm like,
right.
Cool. He goes, okay, how much Will Smith make? 20 million?
Right.
You got your pinky toe in that game? Why don't you go over that way? Because they're making more money acting than they are making. So I was like, you know what? I have to start taking this more seriously.
Right. So it's real. So I still get out and do shows a lot. I still have a lot of love for that.
You still killing the shows too.
Thank you,
You
man.
still kill. Remember, when we did the Art of Rap show out, you had some of the wildest break dances I ever seen. You had the suicide break dances. One dude was like jumping in
then and break his arm on the floor.
That little kid, there was a little kid. He was 13 years old.
13,
kid,
started
right?
like you, boy. So this Friday, they listen to our podcast right now. This Friday at 145th Street between what?
Yes, between 146 between 7th and Lenox. Well, Adam Clayton Powell and Lenox Avenue.
And that's going to be the Hip Hop Church. And if you're listening
this Friday, 10 a.m.
If you're listening from the side of New York City, anywhere in the Five Boroughs or the Connecticut, let's show AJ Scratch. He will be missed, man.
Yeah.
Love to see you there. Kurtis Blow will be speaking, so he won't be rapping. And watch him, boy. He reads that Bible.
And for more information, you can get at me on Twitter. Is Kurtis Blow and the number 1. Kurtis Blow 1. Or Instagram is Kurtis Blow 100.
And Kurtis, what is there anything else that's happening that we want to talk about or push?
Well, I do have a Hip Hop Church CD out right now on iTunes. Amazon is everywhere. And this Volume 3, Hip Hop Church Volume 3. We did 3 volumes so far. So it's a compilation of all the holy hip hoppers, gospel rappers, Christian rappers.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, it gives them a little outlet, you know what I'm saying? And a little representation so that they can get some exposure and get out there. So we have a nice little cross section. There's rappers from, North Carolina, New York, LA, everywhere, so.
Well, we got a lot of followers and people on to tune into this are just real hip hop heads.
Right.
So that you're going to see them pop up on your Twitter page. You're going to see them say, send out shouts and start following you, trying to stay on top of your game and stuff. But it's been a great moment on Final Level Podcast to have the one and only Kurtis Blow.
Thank you, man.
Because, you got to get it from the horse's mouth. And the stories are told so many ways.
Right.
And so many different variations. The truth can only come from the person who lived it.
That's why we have no gossip up here at the Final Level Podcast. We'd rather have the person in the building to speak to them. And they got to be family anyway, first of all. We got to know them.
Yeah.
Or know something of them. We just don't let strangers walk in.
Well, he was able to tell me a B-side of something I lived through with him. Like, there's always two sides. You telling the girl what it was like to meet her. She didn't tell you what it was like for her to meet you.
Right.
She ain't told you the other side. I got to go ask my wife, what was it like meeting me? I know how I felt. How was you feeling? The B side of the story.
Yeah.
But can we finish the podcast? You ready to finish
the
up?
podcast?
Yeah,
that was Kurtis Blow, the king of hip hop, regardless of what you said. We know the king of pop. We know the king of soul, James Brown and Michael Jackson. This the king of hip-hop, Kurtis Blow, baby.
You had better act like you know.
So you're a philosopher?
Yes, I think very deeply.
All right, this Final Level Podcast number 38, and this is The Daily Game. The Daily Game is brought to you by my Twitter page, which is at Final Level. Reason I call it at Final Level is because I'm a gamer. You're always trying to get to the final level.
Right.
It's where I'm trying to be. And somebody always asks me, say, Ice, what is the final level? And I say the final level is inner peace. How you feel about that, Minister?
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, once you finally find inner peace, because we all start our lives looking for so many different things, but when you finally are just at peace here, you know, I always tell my girls, I say, look, baby, it doesn't matter if we in the Four Seasons or the Motel 6. When the light goes out, it's who you laying with, goddamn it. It doesn't matter. You know, we're in the same room. And that's how it all happens in your head. You can have all the entrapments of life, but if your head is messed up, it doesn't matter. So inner peace is the final level. And today's daily game, it's basically about this word shaming. I made a comment on Twitter and people said, oh, well, you don't slut shame a girl, which is telling a girl that she's promiscuous, so she's a slut, or you're shaming people. Weight shaming. It's a new term for people who are made to feel bad.
So it's called really insulting them.
Yeah, but making you feel bad about yourself. And I said that, you know, to me, if you're allowing somebody to shame you, you're just letting the haters get to you. You know, you have to be stronger. If you feel what you're doing is right, then to let anybody make you feel bad about yourself. And when I was growing up, the little white kids tried to shame me about being black. Like, oh, you're black. Like my reaction was I should want to be white. And I'm like, yo, I'm black and I'm proud. You know what I'm saying? And I had to stand up to them. So what I'm trying to teach people out there that are dealing with shaming, sometimes you just going to have to deal with humans, and humans on earth tend to pass judgment on other humans. And you're just going to have to learn how to say F them at sometimes. You can't let other humans pass judgment on you. You know, you just, whatever. I don't like your hat. I don't like those sneakers. You stupid because you wearing this.
Right.
You know, who are you? I'm doing me. Don't allow anybody to shame you. How you feel about it, Mickey?
I feel the same way you do, but like you say, you can insult me, but you can't really hurt my feelings because I'm not worried about what you're telling me, what I shouldn't do and what I shouldn't wear. This is what I own. This is what I wear. If you want to see me in something different, buy it for me.
Now, let's say, for instance, let's say something like this. Say somebody is saying drinking, all right? We have friends that are dealing with alcoholism and stuff. You don't shame them. You go up to them and you try to help them. You don't point, you a drunk. You don't do that. That's not helpful. So the person who's doing that is not your friend, right? So once you realize the person isn't your friend, then just don't deal with them. You just block them out because your friend is going to say, they're not going to shame you. They're going to walk up to you. If they say, hey, you know, you're a little bit too promiscuous, they're going to walk up to you and they're going to talk to you. They're going to tell you why. Hey, maybe you shouldn't be doing this with all these guys, whatever. But just somebody calling you a slut or telling you you're fat, you're too fat, you're fat, you're fat. That's not how a friend is going to handle it. They're going to say, come on, baby, you know what I'm saying? You know, I want you to live, you know, take care of yourself.
Right.
You got anything to say about this?
Yeah. I mean, you know, but just speaking on it from a religious aspect, you know, the Bible says that treat people like how you want to be treated. But not only that, it says to tell the truth in love.
Say it again.
Tell the truth and love. And it has a lot to do with your tone, how you communicate. You know, your tone means a whole lot. We get in a lot of fights because people say the wrong things, but they just say it in a bad tone, and you can feel that the hateration coming from their tone. And we have to be very, very careful about that. And the other thing that I wanted to say, and you know, this is a new thing, this whole shaming thing. And they call it trolling, too. Yeah. Have you ever seen that on the internet? They just go off and just insult after insult and trolling.
Trolling has a backlash, a game to it. See, what trolling is I'm going to attack you enough to where I'm going to get you to attack back. So it's really like they're baiting you to make you become aggressive. So, you know, in other words, if you're religious, I'm going to bait you anti-religious to where you come out of your mouth and say something that
It's out of my norm.
Exactly.
Right.
So the trolls are trying to bait you into, and they have another term say, don't feed the trolls.
But this is what I'm saying. This whole shaming, trolling,
Yeah.
it reminds me of Donald Trump.
Yeah.
He's trolling the White House.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's shaming the White House.
Yeah.
One insult after another. And I see it. He's just attacking. And people are just loving it. And they're eating it up because we just love negativity.
Mm-hmm.
And I see through it. It's so just like plastic. How can we... I believe I'm going to leave the country if he gets into the White House.
There you
I'm
go.
out of here. I'm out of here.
He's not getting in the White
Dude,
House.
I'm going back to Africa. I'm going to find Marcus Garvey, and I'm outie. I'm out.
Hey, Kurt, it's been wonderful having you on the podcast. You know what I'm saying? Me and Mickey, we search out people that we love to be on the podcast.
Kanye for president.
Oh, Jesus.
See?
There you
I said
go.
that. I want to say this before
Boy.
we let Kurt get out of here. AJ Scratch funeral will take place this Friday on 146th Street at the Hip Hop Community Church. But again, men, all men, I'm going to say it once and I'm going to say it as loud as I can. We need to start taking care of ourselves. We lost a good friend because he did not go to that doctor early enough. I'm not going to tell you what he passed away from, but I need y'all to go to maleawarenessfoundation.org. We talking about prostate. We talking about colon cancer. We talking about testicles. We're talking about breast cancer for MEN, men. We need to start going to the damn doctors. AJ Scratch, you will be missed.
I think Mickey said it all. Peace.
Peace.
That's how I'm living. 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 That's how I'm living.